Hello dear viewers, welcome to this edition of the News in English with me, Serge Nhori. I'm glad you're able to join us. Let us begin with the headlines. President Paul Kagame and the First Lady of Rwanda, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame, are in Seychelles for a two-day state visit. Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente has received a special envoy of the President of the Republic of Korea, who delivered a special message from the President of that country meant for His Excellency Paul Kagame. Muslims in Rwanda have joined others globally in celebrating Eid al-Adha. Philippe Hategekimana has been sentenced to life in prison by a Paris court for his crimes during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. Thank you again for taking the time to join us. I'll be sitting in for Sam Kalisa. Now for our top story. The President of the Republic of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame, has noted that Rwanda and Seychelles are friendly nations and share the vision of both nations' citizens, development in social and health sectors, and having the tourism sector development as a driver of economic development for both nations. The head of state made the remarks on Wednesday during the two-day state visit in the Republic of the Seychelles. And he is accompanied by the First Lady of Rwanda, Her Excellency Jeannette Kagame. We have more with Prince Manzi.
In the ongoing visit, President Kagame and First Lady Jeannette Kagame are guests of honor in the celebration of Seychelles' 47 years of independence. Upon arrival in the Republic of Seychelles, President Kagame was received by his Seychelles counterpart, Wavera Mkalawan, and had tete-a-tete discussions and later joined open discussions between envoys of the two nations. The heads of state presided over the signing of MOUs between Rwanda and Seychelles in health, defense and security, law enforcement, agriculture, tourism and visa waiver. President Kagame emphasized on the good relations existing between the two nations and on how they share a lot, including the same vision of citizens' development.
President Lamkarawan and I have had very productive discussions. Seychelles and Rwanda are driven by a common aspiration to improve the quality of life for all our citizens, working hand in hand with the partners in the region and beyond. Building on our strong bilateral ties and bonds of friendship, we intend to deepen our cooperation across strategic areas and areas of mutual benefit, including health, defense, and security, tourism, and agriculture, among others. For Seychelles and Rwanda, tourism is a key driver of economic growth. Collectively, there is a lot we can do to make the sector more sustainable and resilient. Tourism creates enormous opportunities for air connectivity and commercial links, bringing businesses from Seychelles and Rwanda closer together. Both our countries are united in our membership of international organizations, notably the Commonwealth and La Francophonie. Through these platforms, we have the opportunity to continue aligning our priorities and views.
The President of Seychelles, Wavera Mkalawan, addressed his counterpart of Rwanda as an exemplary leader and appreciates the role of his leadership in addressing issues hindering Rwanda and the continent at large. Here he emphasized on the biotech industry manufacturing vaccines being constructed in Rwanda, adding that it is one of the solutions to the issues hindering the health sector on the African continent, thanking President Paul Kagame for his foresighting leadership.
We are truly delighted that you accepted the invitation to be our guest of honor at this year's Independence Day, National Day celebrations. As we celebrate 47 years of independence, it is indeed great to have a big brother present in our midst. I would take this opportunity to congratulate you personally for your leadership, not only in Rwanda, but also at the African Union level and as a world leader. You are an example to the whole world that Africa indeed has great leaders. You led your country through so much difficulties, and today Rwanda is considered as one of the safest countries in the world. Women find themselves in total security, and we want to emulate your example. Whilst you were the chairman of the African Union, you gave the continent hope. You came forward with solid plans, and to this day, we are still reading through the pages of your vision, and it's that vision that Africa truly needs.
In the evening on Wednesday, President Kagame also addressed the Eid the Poor, the Seychelles Parliament. The President of the Republic of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame, demonstrated how he is honored to join the people of Seychelles in the celebration of 47 years of independence, adding that Independence Day is a valuable day for every country.
Learning from the past to build a better future without relying on external assistance alone is something that resonates strongly with Rwandans. Every year on July 4th, Rwandans around the world commemorate the end of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi and the liberation of our country. National celebrations are about continuing to move forward in unity, solidarity, and with dignity to transform the lives of the people we serve. It is also about renewing our commitment to seek the truth and stand up against injustices. In that context, I wish to congratulate you for the important work of the Truth, Reconciliation, and National Unity Commission.
This visit marks President Kagame's second official visit to Seychelles. President Ramukalawan also recently visited Rwanda in June 2022 for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Still on the visit of the president to Seychelles, let's take a quick look at that country's rich history. Prince Manzi continues.
The Republic of Seychelles is a country on 455 square kilometers of land, consisting of 115 islands in the Indian Ocean, with Victoria as its capital city. It is the second smallest country in Africa. Nearby countries and territories include the Comoros, Madagascar, Mauritius, and the French overseas departments of Mayotte and Réunion to the south, and the Maldives and Chagos Archipelago to the east. This country was colonized by the United Kingdom and proclaimed independence in 1976. Seychelles is celebrating 47 years of independence. Seychelles is one of the least populated African countries with a population slightly over 100,000. From 1976 to 2015, this country's GDP grew nearly by 700%. One of the reasons this country is considered one of the richest African nations is the efforts allocated to foreign investments. As of the early 21st century, Seychelles has the highest nominal per capita GDP of any African nation. It has the second highest Human Development Index of any African country after Mauritius. Seychelles is also one of the countries globally enhancing biodiversity conservation. 42% of the country's land was allocated to environmental conservation activities. The tourism sector is one of the drivers of the country's development, with 30% of citizens benefiting from it. Seychelles citizens as island residents, they recall the importance of water in their daily lives. Addressing the nation on the World Oceans Day, the president of Seychelles, Wavela Mkalawan, emphasized on the importance of oceans in the lives of citizens.
Our oceans are not merely vast bodies of water. They are the lifeblood of our nation, providing sustenance, livelihoods, and inspiration. They are a source of beauty and wonder, and they connect us to the rest of the world. Today, we come together to celebrate this invaluable resource and to acknowledge the collective action required to ensure its sustainable use and preservation. The ocean has always been an integral part of Seychelles' identity. It is interwoven into our culture, our history, and our very way of life.
In Seychelles, the basic health services are accessed free of charge. This is also the same for the primary and secondary education. Languages used in Seychelles are the Creole, English, and French. The recent presidential elections in Seychelles was in 2020 and saw Wavela Mkalawan as the president of Seychelles. President Mkalawan prioritizes social development and prevention of corruption. Since the 29th of June 1976, the Republic of Seychelles is a member of the Commonwealth and Francophonie.
Thank you, Prince, for that report. Now to France, where a Paris court has found Philippe Hategekimana guilty of genocide and crimes against humanity and has sentenced him to life in prison. The court said it had found Philippe Hategekimana, who is a former Rwandan military policeman, now aged 66, guilty of nearly all charges against him in relation to the 1994 genocide that was perpetrated against the Tutsi here in Rwanda. The court also noted that during the trial, the genocide perpetrator had shown no remorse for his crimes and even verbally attacked witnesses. After the genocide against the Tutsi, Philippe Hategekimana fled Rwanda to France, obtaining refugee status and then French nationality under a different surname. Now back here to Rwanda, where Muslims have been urged to be characterized with love and charity and to protect themselves from extremist ideology. Prince Manzi has the details.
In Nyamirambo, Kigali City, especially in Biryogo, there's found a large number of Islam believers. It is currently a developing region, and apart from the government's role, these residents also play part in its development, especially when it comes to charity and supporting one another. Eid al-Adha is one of the celebrated days in Islam, and it is characterized with charity-related activities, including supporting the vulnerable and getting together as families. This is a special day to Islam believers, but we do not eat alone. We share with others, including people from other religions. It is a day we honor, a day of sacrifice. The Mufti of Rwanda, Sheikh Salim Hitimana, urged Islam believers to be characterized with love and prevent themselves from extremism ideology.
Ndagira ngo mbibutse ko bavandimwe ba Islam tugomba kugira uruhare mu kurengera ndetse no gushyigikira.
I would like to remind you, fellow Islam brothers and sisters, we have to play part in supporting our religion by preventing ourselves from people who can use our religion in their own driven benefits with no relation with the religion. These are the ones with the extremism ideologies, and you know that across the world we find people calling themselves Islam believers, and yet their acts differ with our beliefs.
ariko ibikorwa bakora bikaba bigaragaza ibisobanuro bitandukanye bikahabana n'imyemerere n'imyigishirize ya Islam.
Eid al-Adha is a celebrated day in Islam as they commemorate Prophet Ibrahim's devotion to Allah and his readiness to sacrifice his son Ismail, but Allah replaced his son Ismail with a ram to be slaughtered in place of him. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente has received a special envoy of the President of the Republic of Korea, who delivered a special message from the President of that country meant for His Excellency Paul Kagame, inviting him to the next Africa-Korea Summit in 2024. The special envoy's delegation included prominent members of South Korea's business community, and he spoke on the economic cooperation between Rwanda and the Asian country.
Last year, my President Yoon Suk-yeol announced that his comprehensive diplomacy as a global pivotal stage. This comprehensive diplomacy as global pivotal stage is based on 3 pillars. The first pillar is a value of liberty. The second pillar is a value of peace. The third pillar is a value of prosperity. He emphasized that he tried to extend economic cooperation with a country in Africa who has a strong beliefs in the value of peace and value of liberty and value of prosperity. He thinks that Rwanda is what he thought. That's kind of a country. That's why I came here, and after this time, we try to make an effort to make economic cooperation deeper and closer with each other.
The two officials also spoke on the economic ventures the two countries can jointly undertake, including the promotion of cleaner modes of transportation, as was confirmed by Rwanda's Minister of State in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Professor Nshuti Manasseh. The last Africa-Korea Summit took place last year in Ethiopia, and between 2012 and 2020, 9 Korean companies invested as much as $265.5 million in Rwanda's economy. Now, staying on the economic matters, investors and professional accountants have stressed that collaboration between levels in building an economy based on knowledge and skills here in Rwanda will facilitate faster development. This was noted in Rubavu district during a 3-day economic and professional skills training symposium. Prince Manzi with more.
Participants in this symposium appreciate the investments so far in infrastructure and how the technology has supported Rwanda to achieve its current development. The economic development in our country and globally is based on skills of citizens, because even if you'd be having resources, they will be useless without skills. The 2022 Rwanda population housing census demonstrates that Rwandans are 13,246,394 from 10.5 million recorded in 2012. The Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Rwanda that organized these discussions demonstrate that the increase of the population should go hand in hand with the country's development measures. We are discussing on where funds for investments come from and various activities where the investment funds can be allocated to. But especially for accountants, they should collaborate with other institutions for easing their functions. The 3 days discussions are in regard to responsive economic development agenda of the country, as well as generating solutions on silent issues affecting the development of the economy. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Now to education matters. The students of Hope Haven Christian School have won the opportunity to represent Rwanda at the international level in the World Scholars Cup of Debate and Creative Writing Skills, which will be held in the United States of America. These students competed against 1,800 from 30 other countries and won the competition and will now compete in the final round.
What we did, we trusted ourselves and had confidence in ourselves, and we prayed, which was among the keys that helped us to pass. And also we worked really hard, and we had really studied, like the school had provided us with everything that we needed to study and finish the whole curriculum for the World Scholars Cup. We're going to keep working hard and improving the areas where we really need to improve. And also we go much into deep the curriculum and work on the subjects, the science, the arts, so that we can be able to win also the Tournament of Champions.
The first thing we're going to do is study, because there is this the event called the Scholars Challenge. It is the one with the most medals, so we have to study so hard for us to win that. So the first thing is study. Another thing is praying, because everything without God is nothing. So we have to put God first, and after we study, and we are going to try our best.
The Institute's founder and president points out that competing at the international level builds skills among students.
Well, I think these students bring home a lot of hope, haven of hope, to their fellow students. And I think it gives them the expectation that they're the next ones. To me, I've always told our staff, I mean, your writing is the cover of your book. It's your resume. It's who you are before somebody gets a chance to meet you. So to be 10th as the writing team is incredible. So they can speak and they can write, which means they can talk about this nation with clarity and with promise and with pride. It's an amazing thing for this country, truly.
The final stage of the competition will be held from the 2nd to the 7th of November this year at Yale University in the US. Now, staying with education, the University of Rwanda brought together the private sector, students and their lecturers to discuss what can be done to ensure that graduates are educated to the level that is needed in the labor market in order to reduce the unemployment rate here in Rwanda, which currently stands at 13% among university graduates. We have the details with Adam's Kwizera.
Inadequate knowledge of graduates to the labor market is one of the main reasons for the unemployment among educated youth, plus high requirement demanded by the employees. You find that most places, when they post job vacancies, they indicate requirements, which you can find that you met all requirements. But on the case of job experience, seem to be challenging, since after graduating from university, you can't be having a job experience of 2 or 5 years. The government of Rwanda has put in place measures to close the gap between education and demands of the labor market, as noted by Amos Fitundinda, the acting head of strategic capacity development at RDB.
There is need for continuous needs assessment, that whatever is developed as a curricula or in different curriculum development or review, it matches with the labor market needs. There you have to do various studies of skills needs assessment for today and also for the future, so that what you are teaching the students who are going to the labor market tomorrow are well equipped with the skills that are needed there.
Dr. Kayihura Muganga Didas, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Rwanda, noted that they are currently matching their curriculum with the demands of the labor market.
When we are designing our curriculum, we basically involve the industry. It's the industry that helps us to know what exactly is needed at the market. And then during the offering of the curriculum, we also involve industry on a daily basis. Yes, our permanent lecturers will keep teaching as usual, giving theories relating to some cases, but then we invite the industry as well to come and participate in that for a hands-on kind of approach.
According to the 2022 Population and Housing Census conducted by the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda, more than 790,000, equivalent to 16.5%, are unemployed. As of those on the labor market, there are 3.8 million, which is 47.7% of the population labor force. The university graduates are unemployed at the rate of 12.9%, while high school graduates' unemployment is at 25.6%. Adams Kwizera, RTV News.
That is the end of the news, but stay with Rwanda Television as we continue to bring you different programs. Goodbye.